Well, good evening to you, everyone. It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. How are you all? I hope you are doing exceptionally well. I, of course, am the one and only Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the birthday show. My birthday specifically. And thank you all for deciding to show up tonight and celebrate it with me. Let me put my old man glasses on. Another cold night in the studio here. We have some fun tonight, or we're gonna have some fun tonight. But let me go down the list here. Um, Daniel Rowan, Rabbit Wrangler, Lord Misfit, JC waited all day to tell me happy birthday. Thank you, Michael Dale, James Seymour. Many trips, James, many trips. As a wise man once said, for grapefruit, I am ancient. For a mountain, I have hardly begun. Good to see you, Damien. Hey, thanks for the super there, Michael. Thank you very much. Or wait, no, who is that? Yeah, Michael Dale. Thank you for the super. I really, really appreciate that. Let's put that up on the still store there. A happy birthday. Thank you very much, Michael. I do love cheesecake, Lord Misfit. But anyway, uh, nope, no connectivity issues. I was just sitting back and chilling. Let's see, Wave of Mutilation and Kenneck, of course. Rory. Um, who else is out there in TV land? Bob Schult. Good to see you, Bob. Driving and Dragons. FMCS Recon. Wheeling Dragon, hello, my dear. How are you? Matt Sherman, Joe Kaufman. 33K7, hello. And Wave of Mutilation, thank you for the super. Thank you very much. Well, a little. I'm going to enjoy the first libation sip. I have a pint of Guinness. To all of you, thank you very much. Salute to you. My goodness, my Guinness, that is tasty stuff. But anyway, um, yes. Hello to you all, and thank you for being here tonight. Listen, it's my birthday. I have no, hey, Lord Misfit. Um, I have no agenda tonight other than to sit and to have fun. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it until I'm not having fun anymore. And then we're going to change to something else that is fun. Greetings, Terran Core Studios. Good to see you over there on the Twitter space. It's always nice to hear from my friends over on Twitter. So if you are watching over on Twitter, exclusively on Twitter, just stopping by, say hello in the little comment window there. I'll see it over here, but, it'll be good. Let me ask you a favor, guys. Hail, Michael Connor, unbreaded. Let me ask you a favor. If you're just stopping by for the first time, and you haven't done so already, hey, thank you, Jorge. I really appreciate that, man. Absolutely appreciate that. Uh, if you haven't done so already, if you would please click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and if you like this live stream, give it a thumbs up. That always helps. Those things help the algorithm, which we're actually going to talk about. It's going to be a little bit boring, but it's my birthday party. So anyway, the nose is back. Um, that's good. I mean, it's right there. Or are you referring to a certain former law tuber? But anyway, but I am glad you're all here. I am glad that you are all here, and I gotta be very careful setting that. Nikki the Nose. Oh boy. Uh It's my birthday. And on this celebration of another 365 trips around the sun, which let's stop and consider that for a second. Not just mine, but everybody's. Lots of people were born on January 23rd. Lots of people were born on January 23rd, 1970. Not all of them are still here. Many of them still are. Rob Turner, hello. But these, when you think about it, I have been a passenger on a very tenuous grain of soil, whipping around a fairly unremarkable star at a pretty high rate of speed as we go screaming through the galaxy, screaming through the local galactic group, screaming through a supercluster. Hey, Joe Kaufman, thank you very much. And when you stop and consider about all the truly horrifying stuff there is out there in the universe, black holes, pulsars, magnetars, white dwarves, so on and everything else, that we haven't smacked into something, that there hasn't been a gamma ray burst that hasn't sterilized our planet, that some low energy state hasn't occurred in the universe, which, by the way, little bit of quantum physics here, that I'm sure if Tim Imholt were here, he would be very upset to hear me abusing this science this badly. If the universe exists in a high energy state that it should not, from a practical standpoint, we should fall down to a low energy state. We should fall down to a much lower energy state. If that happened, it would be everywhere all at once, instantaneous, because it would happen on the quantum level. Like, it wouldn't start in some part of the universe where we would go, oh, wow, that's happening. Well, I guess we've got X light years before that happens to or X years before that happens to us, because it's this many light years away. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Robert. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, if it just happened, we would be here knowing, and then we would not. Now, if you believe in a deity and a higher power, we would all just suddenly be in our respective afterlives. There wouldn't be a universe to reincarnate into. Things would change weirdly. It's not just like stuff would suddenly get cold. Like physics themselves, like the building blocks of reality itself would be reordered. That none of that has happened, and that I've been here for 55 years is pretty goddamn extraordinary. Every day is a blessing. Every day you get. If today sucked, tomorrow might be better. If tomorrow sucks, the day after that might be better. If tomorrow sucks, but today rocked, that's just par for the course. So I raise my glass to the universe at large, and I say thank you for letting me continue, for letting everything continue, at least from an objective point of view, or a subjective point of view. It may have already happened, and this is just the stretched out moments of my existence as I re-experience them in a time when my very subatomic particles, the building blocks, the quarks, the leptons, are being spaghettified in this new uninhabitable universe, and that information is passing backwards through my existence as I experience that. And the only way that I can comprehend it in that moment as I wink into null is to experience these things as memories. But even if that's it, I just tasted some Guinness. I just had some bar food for dinner, and everything's fucking wonderful. So hello to you all. And I care about you all. It's really, really big, and we're just tiny specks about the size of Mickey Rooney, give or take. You know, same, Ishahay, same. That's what I'm talking about. Statistically speaking, we're a rounding error. We're something that on a spreadsheet, like if you were working in Excel, Excel will just go whack and put 0.00 in that field. It wouldn't bother coming down to where we are. And that's fine. And that's fine. Because we know we're here. And you know what theory I subscribe to? I subscribe to this theory. I think when you talk about the Fermi paradox, why aren't there more things out there? This is my thought on that. Let me hold forth on that. I think we're the first. I think we're the first. If our current models hold up, the universe is 13.5 billion years old, and it has got a long way to go before somebody turns off the lights on the last proton. Okay. It's effectively, that's not going to happen for effectively infinity years from now. The Earth is 5 billion years old, which means 8.5 billion years after the Big Bang, which is a bit of a misnomer, by the way. We popped up. We were brought into existence. 8.5 billion years on the timescale of the universe is small. It's not even it's not even 2 times greater than the age of our own planet. Our planet got here right after the universe got started going. Think about that. And people say, oh, well, there should be millions of starfaring races in our galaxy. There might be someday. And we could be the first ones. We could be the elder race. We go through fire and war, and we mature, and we grow up, and we go out, and we see the planets in industrial revolutions. We see the planets in the throes of World War. We see the planets that are just getting on their feet. We see the planets that are on the verge of disaster, all these civilizations. And we're the ancient ones. We're the Vorlons. We are the people of the monolith. We are the 2001 monolith, not the monolith in Stalker. We're the ones that when we ascend, or if we reach a point and decide that's enough, we leave these enigmatic ruins across the galaxy. And they wonder, who were these beings from this planet that they called Earth? The star that is now long gone, an iron corpse drifting somewhere in the void, a planet long ago consumed. All their colonies. What became of them? What could we have learned from them? I think that's why we haven't run into anything like that, because it's us. That's my theory on it. Exactly, 33K7. It's free real estate. Why do they leave a +1 longsword in this pile of trash? Exactly. Hey, Calvinoni, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that is what I hold forth on why things are the way they are. Why we don't see, type 3 Kardashev societies out there. Not to be Kardashian confused with Kardashian societies, right? I mean, you really don't want to, Kim Kardashian and so on. But anyhow, but we do what we can with the time we have, and we try to make a significant impact. There's a very cool science fiction horror. It's a series of trailers that imply there are individual episodes that cover this. Neil Blomkamp made them, and he actually had an all-star cast. Like Sigourney Weaver was in these. But basically, these reptilian horrors show up, and they do a number on Earth. I mean, if you played the Half-Life 2 games, hey, Drama Goblins, good to see you. If you played Half-Life 2, they make the Combine look like a bunch of Sunday school preachers. Okay, they're bad guys. Well, we have been like driven back to the brink of extinction by them. Like literally their idea of punitive is like they'll expose all the rebar in a skyscraper and just pin people to it. Just literally cover it with people that they've grabbed and just slammed onto there from the ground all the way to the top. Hey, thank you, Adunazil. Did I say that right? Thank you very much for stopping by. We follow each other on Twitter. Adunazil is pretty cool, if I'm saying that right. But well, the reason they cared about us was because we poked the crystal and showed ourselves capable of discovering various physics thingamajigs that they hadn't quite figured out. Remember, we are the only ones who had site-to-site teleporters. They had to go home and then come somewhere else. I'm psyched that you're here. That Ishahay, me too. I'm just talking science fiction smack. But anyway, it's revealed as you watch these pieces of episodes. We never get to see whole episodes. It is literally like coming up this week on this series, and then a few minutes, and then coming up next week, and then it's literally trailers for a TV show that never got made. They weren't trying to make a TV show. It's like sizzle reels. But it is intimated that these aliens showed up and started really wiping us out because they're mad at us. And they're not mad at us for like, oh, you humans, we've seen into the future and you're going to pollute the galaxy, or, you know, you've turned your world into a cesspool, and, you know, they're mad at us because they perceive time all at once. They can see the beginning, middle, and end. We can't. We only perceive time in one direction. And they know that humanity is vitally important to another race of beings that can perceive time from any direction regarding the literal end of the universe. That humanity plays a key in safeguarding intelligent life or restarting the universe or some way. We are vitally important, and it pisses them off because they aren't. They're insignificant compared to us. So they just figure, screw these guys. We're just going to exterminate them. They're hateful and nasty. And boy, is there some body horror in these things. They are incredibly pissed off that we're going to play a role. The almost Vorlon-like aliens that know we are important are kind of safeguarding us, but not interfering too much, implying that this has to happen to us. We have to go through this crucible of being almost snuffed out. But it was fascinating. It was fascinating, and I can't remember the name of it, but again, it was directed by Neil Blomkamp. It stars Sigourney Weaver. You can probably find, just look them up on Wikipedia, and you can find those things. So I recommend checking that out. Have I read To Sleep in a Sea of Stars? I have not. I'll check it out, though. Yeah, there's one that they made a TV show out of recently where we contact like higher energy beings, but they really don't like us. Is it the three body problem? And we're like, oh, what do they mean? What are they going to do? This is happening. That is happening. And then they realize, like, they dumb it. Imagine if we were trying to communicate with bacteria, right? Like, what can we do so a bacteria will 100% understand what we mean other than what it only regards as gross, unintelligible gestures? And the aliens in the three body problem send a message to everyone's cell phone, every computer, every television. Basically, if it's capable of displaying a visual message, they send text to it. And it says, "You are insects." So they basically regard us as bugs that are getting in their way. I don't know anything else about it. So, but anyway, I want to set that aside, and I want to talk a little bit something D&D related, because I actually got asked this. This came up on Discord the other day, and I want to thank the person who brought this, because this is straight up. Where is it? I was having the. Here it is. So somebody asked about magic armor in AD&D. And I honestly, I don't know if they want to be doxxed on this. So somebody asked me about magic armor in AD&D, and does it stack with other compatible links? I don't know if there is a Discord link, Ishahay. I will put this up here if I can. Let's invite people, copy. It says it's copied. What does this do? Yeah, no. When I click copy on the Discord link, it copies the text. What if I edit invite link, generate a new link, and then I hit copy on that, And then I click copy. Nope. That's what it does when I use the copy button. So, let me see. I've not seen Transformers 1. I haven't seen any Transformers movie. I've seen bits and pieces of Transformers movie. I was never a Transformers kid. Transformers hit just after I started to get out of toys. I was doing stuff on my Commodore 64 all the time. But let me see. I'm gonna try something here. There we go. Now I think I got it to work. Hey, Retro DM Ray, thank you very much. There you go, guys. There's a Discord link. To all people watching in the future, that link won't work. That link will not work. I have tried to make that link permanent, and it will not work. They have a phone with a coffee button. It's the what do you call it app? The Starbucks app. And then you get DoorDash. And then you pay $27 for a single cup of coffee with too much milk and chocolate dumped in it. Did I get a new mic? I think you meant a new camera. No, I haven't gotten it yet, Jeremy. I have not gotten it. Jeremy's talking about a camera that I was looking at on Amazon. I'm very excited about it. That's okay, brother. You can show me you're sorry by sending me a super chat. Anyway, so the question came up about magic armor. And I wanna talk a little bit about magic armor because it came up. Because the question was put forth about, does magic armor stack with certain magic items? Yes, kind of, sort of, occasionally. Let's open the Dungeon Master's Guide and let's look at this. You want a phone with a built-in coffee machine. That, I mean, at that point, you'd have to be dragging a phone booth with you, I would think. So first of all, magic armor is magic armor. Whether it's curaboli leather, studded leather, splint ring, chain, plate, magic armor is magic armor. We need not concern ourselves with it. The curve gets thrown. The curve gets thrown in magic armor when you start talking about bracers of protection, rings of protection, and cloak of protection. Let's start with bracers of defense. Let's start with bracers of defense. Now, if you're coming to me from 5th edition, from newer editions, you may be a little bumfuzzled by bracers of defense because of how armor class works. You may be a little bumfuzzled by how those work. But listen, don't let this give you the collie wobbles. All right. We're going to cut through this like a sharp Snickersy. All right. So let's go bracers of defense. Let's go bracers of defense. And I'll put this up on the screen. So bracers of defense are wonderful items. And I will, let's see. I'm trying to put this someplace that it won't completely block me. We will block you. Blocked and reported. Thank you, Dungeon Minister. Thank you, Father. Father Aaron, 1/3 of the nuclear triad that is the Nerd Council of Doom, the Nerd Killer triad. He is the dew line. He is the distant early warning line to the north for us. It's good to see you, Father Aaron. Share screen. So let's have a gander at this. Adunazil, attend, please, as should all the rest of you. So bracers of defense. These items appear to be some sort of wrist or arm guards. Their magic bestows an effective armor class equal to actually wearing armor and employing a shield. Of course, if armor is actually worn, the bracers will not be effective, but they do work in conjunction with other magical items of protection. So, rings and cloaks stack with bracers. Most bracers of defense are armor class 5. You can see the curve runs right through here. You might get an AC 4 on the high side. But 4 or 5 are about the best you're going to do. So bracers of defense stack with cloaks and rings. So ergo, cloaks and rings stack with bracers of defense. Now, let's go look. Yeah, bracers of they are disappointing. They can be a little disappointing, but I mean, you know, if you're a young magic user, hey, every little bit helps, right? And I should also point out, bracers of defense and any other defensive item stack with your dex bonus. If you have an 18 dex, that's already giving you like a base armor class of what, 4, 5? I don't have the player's handbook open right now. That's why I'm asking. You know what? Let's look at the player's handbook. Let's not leave it to chance. Let's not leave it to my spotty memory. Let's grab a player's handbook. A physical one for fun. And let's look up Dex. Dexter's Laboratory. Let's look up Dex. 18 Dex is -4. So if you have those bracers of defense 8, your armor class is 4. If you don't have them, your armor class is 6. Very handy having a high Dex and stacking it with those. So, let's move on. And they're also great due to encumbrance. That's very true. All right, so let's look at the Ring of Protection. We know it stacks with the bracers, and we know Cloak of Protection stacks with bracers, but does the ring stack with anything? Oh, that's in there a few times. Oh, I blew past it too. All right, here we go. but Dee Dee blows his experiments to smithereens. Charles Latorra, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, Charles. We'll see you, Dungeon Minister. Thank you for stopping in. All right, so let's see. Ring of Protection. A ring of protection increases the wearer's armor class value and saving throws versus all forms of attack. A +1 ring raises AC by 1, save from 10 to 9, and gives a bonus of +1 on all saving throw die rolls. Remember that. Stick a pin in that. We're going to be coming back to that. The magical properties of a ring of protection are cumulative with all other magic items of protection except as followed. It does not add to armor value if magical armor is worn, although it does add to saving throw die rolls. And they don't stack. You can't have a +1 and a +3 for +4. And then you get them with radius, with radii on them. Like +6 on AC, +1 on saving throws. No, that doesn't have a radius. +3, 5-foot radius protection, which means your friends can bunch up around you and get the benefit of the ring too. So you see now that the ring, it does stack. It does not stack with magic armor, but it does stack with regular armor. But its saving throw bonus does stack with magic armor. What do I mean, you say? Some magic armor cases will stack. For example, Dragon's Breath. You will get a saving throw bonus while wearing magic armor when saving versus Dragon's Breath. So if you have +2 plate mail and you get breathed on by a dragon, you can add +2 to your roll in addition to any other boni that you have going at that time. However, a hail of poison arrows, one strikes you, you do not get to add. You do not get to add. Hey, Rob, thank you. Out there giving out membership gifts. I wonder who got that one. Oh, thank you, Charles. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate it. Radius says, yes, radii. Do appreciate. Okay, so rings, radii. Bear beats Battlestar Galactica. False. So there's a radius going on. Finally, we have it's a reverse raid. I'm pulling them from his live stream. Sorry, man. It's Delver's birthday party. Bear beats Battlestar Galactica. False. All right, so let us then turn our attention to the Cloak of Protection. Sounding a bit like Jesse Jackson there. Let us turn our attention to the Cloak of Protection. America has enough gold pieces, but what it does not have is enough gold for peace. So here we go. Cloak of Protection. Sorry, no protection from math here. TXG, God bless you. Thank you for stopping in just the same. Retro DM Ray. Late here on the East Coast. It's not that late. I'm up. Ah, that's a good question, Roy. No, they don't. All right, so cloak of protection. The various forms of this marvelous device all appear to be normal garments, whether made of cloth or leather. Each lends to its wearer benefits and on armor class. Each plus of the cloak of protection, bettering the armor class by one factor, and to saving throw, each plus being added to the wearer's saving throw dice rolls. Thus, a +1 cloak would make armor class 10, no armor, into armor class 9, and add +1 to saving throws, yada, yada, yada. Note, this device can be combined with other items or worn with leather armor. It cannot function in conjunction with any other sort of magic armor, normal armor other than that of leather, or in conjunction with a shield of any sort. So, stacks of rings and bracers. So consider this. If you have bracers and a ring and a cloak, all at high enough bonus, you could be pretty fierce. I mean, envision a thief. He's already wearing leather armor. Actually, no, because the bracers won't work with armor. Picture a thief wearing bracers of defense, AC 4. He's got an 18 dex. His armor class is then effectively 0. Then he's got a ring of protection +3. That's -3. And then he's got this cloak +3. That's -6. As a DM, that makes me sweat. Cloak of displacement. Let's see. Let's just scroll right up. This item appears to be a normal cloak. It is worn. It will distort and warp light waves. The displacement of light waves causes the wearer to appear to be 1 to 2 feet from his or her actual position. Any missile, attack, or melee strike which is aimed will automatically miss the first time. Thereafter, it affords +2 protection to classes bet on armor class, as well as +2 on saving throw dice versus attack forms indicated, directed at the wearer. Such as spells, gaze weapons, spitting and breath attacks, which are aimed at the wearer of the cloak of displacement. 75% of all cloaks of displacement are sized for humans or elves, persons 5 to 6, but 25% are for persons 4 feet in height, dwarves, gnomes, halflings. This can apply to first attacks from multiple opponents only if the second and successive attackers were unable to observe the initial displacement miss. And yes, rings and bracers would stack with that. How does magic armor and shields affect encumbrance and saving throws? For MS, good question. Hey, PML, good to see you, brother. For purposes of weight while wearing, magic armor has no weight. Some attacks, like area effect damage attacks, Dragon's Breath, Cone of Cold, Fireball, it's literally almost a case-by-case basis that permit saving throws. I should point that out. They don't help you versus like magic missiles or Ice Storm. You know, Ice Storm rains hail down on you. It's 3 to 30. You get no saving throw. Yes, identity theft is no joke. Millions suffer. But that is that is how magic armor works, and so on and etc. That is how things stack up with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little trip of information, because I know I sure did. You guys want to see some stuff I got for my birthday? Some stuff. I have things coming tomorrow. I have things coming Saturday. I may have some stuff coming next week. I may have some things coming next week. Daniel Rowan wants to see it. We'll see it. Show and tell. All right. These items are TV related. Both items are TV related. So we're going to take a look at them. I'll show some loot. I don't have all the loot yet, but I will show some loot. See if I can stand up here. This is the second of the Magnum PI. This is from Paradise Found. This is the company that is authorized to make, using the original fabric patterns, these absolutely gorgeous. These are if you watch Magnum PI and you love Magnum PI, and you should, you'd see Thomas wearing these. And I have a red one that I got many years ago, and I adore it. You guys have seen me wear it, and now I have this one. Why am I not wearing it, you might ask? Because it looks best with a t-shirt. It's about 51 degrees out in my studio right now. I'm freaking cold. Even in this sweatshirt, I am cold. So I'm not wearing it yet, but it fits great. I love it. And you guys will be seeing it on the show from time to time. I quite like it. So this is really awesome. Did it come in a sturdy chest of oak with iron banding and hasps? No, sadly it did not. Okay, so that is the first item. That is item the first. Item numero uno. The second one is also TV related. And I think you guys are going to be a little confused by this. If you know what it is, say in the audience, the first person in the audience to get it wins a big thumbs up from me. How about that? All right. Here we are. To all appearances, a mere black t-shirt. But when we turn it around, we can see it bears the logo of Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk. Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk. So, the question that I have for you gentlefolk is, does anyone here know what Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk is? I will wait. And I will wear that shirt periodically on the show. I will wear that show periodically on the shirt. Nobody? Jeremy, if you're still out there, do you know Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk? We're switching to the hard stuff now. Whoops. We're switching over to the Baileys. That's the stuff. Chris Kane, good to see you. Chris Kane, do you know Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk? And thank you for your happy birthday. Thermostat. I'm seeing a lot of no's. Mainly because it's right on the front of my face. I can't avoid it. Okay. It's time to let you guys off the hook. There were a few skits on the great TV show, The Kids in the Hall, that centered around a group of 3 perennial losers who had a band, and they were called Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk. The drummer, I think the drummer was Rod Torfelson. The bassist was Herman Menderchuk. Kevin McKinney played the long-suffering lead guitarist who is not given a name in the band. That's right. It's a 3-man band. It is called Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk. And the third guy is just completely shut out of the running. Roy Goodman, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Roy. What is a colo guard? Oh, colo guard. Oh, happy birthday. I know what that is now. Don't type it in. But probably the ultimate Rod Torfelson's Rock Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk. Well, the penultimate one was an episode where they were bitching about other bands, railing about hating other, just because other bands are more successful, like they get radio airplay. And one of the bands they bitch about is the Black Crowes. They make a lot of hay about hating the Black Crowes. The night they shot the skits for that episode, the Black Crowes were in the audience, and they thought it was hilarious. So in the final episode, by the way, Roy, I did mine a couple of weeks ago. Everything came out fine. In the last episode, the last showing of the last Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk, they go to Rock and Roll Heaven, and they confront Rock and Roll St. Peter, who's played by the front man of the Black Crowes, who tells them they're terrible and they're not getting into Rock and Roll Heaven. And they simply refuse to believe it. They flatly refuse to believe that they're never going to be successful. That's a good one too, Daniel. I honestly, there's only like 2 or 3 Kids in the Hall skits that I'm just like, nah, I just didn't care for that. But comedy should be uncomfortable sometimes. Yes, Ishahay, everything was fine. Everything was fine. I saw Rush on Presto and on Roll the Bones. So I want to say this about seeing Rush in concert. They were phenomenal. It was It was great. I got to see two concerts of theirs, and man, were they good. And you know, I hate to sound like the D&D skit from SLC Punk, but their music really was perfection. They are so damn precise in concert. R.I.P. Neil. That's right. But my goodness, utterly blown away by Rush. So good. So good. Probably one of the best bands I've ever seen in concert. Yeah, he really did get the Pete Best, and the hell of it was the PML. Yes, we did 10 inches of snow in Pensacola, which is about a 2.5-3 hour drive north from me, and still well within Florida. I should point out, 10 inches of snow. The first Rod Torfelson's Armada featuring Pete Menderchuk skit had the third guy show up, and the others in the band have decided that they're going to throw him out until he breaks down and says that he'll get a second job to support them with no jobs, to support the other two guys. To put the long cargo shorts. The last time we got snow down my way, now we have had ice. We have had ice. Yes, I'm very excited about the Led Zeppelin pick next month. I'm very excited about that. We have had ice since this time, Michael, but the last time we got snow down here that I remember was in 1990 something, 91, 92. I don't remember exactly. I do remember because it was like a day or two before Christmas. And my friend Jason Murray and I were going to go to dinner. We stopped by his house so he could get something, get cleaned up. I don't remember what. Maybe we watched a movie or something. But when we came out to pile into his car and go for dinner, there were little snow drifts in the corner of his car windshield. And we each got like a marble-sized snowball and threw them at each other. We had an actual snowball fight. Oh, James, let's not. I am not a Florida native. I was born 55 years ago on a cold winter night in Georgia. Lived there till I was 5. The family packed up and moved to Alabama, back to my parents' hometown, just across the state line, not very far across the state line in Alabama, a town called Gadsden. A steel town, and at the time had the largest tire and rubber plant in the world there, a Goodyear tire and rubber plant. It's now a Goodyear regional distribution center. Most of it is shuttered. Just a lot of warehouses of tires that are made in India, then shipped there, then shipped throughout the Southeast. But at the time, had one of the largest steel mills in the United States. And the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Factory. So lived there from when I was 5 until when I was 10, I think. I think it was 1980 or 81 we moved to Florida. But I have lived here ever since then. So I've lived here 45 years. So, yeah, PML, let me tell you something. We had I was speaking to Don McVitie over on the Discord about that. Don's a great guy, of course. Um, and he told me that at 10 inches um, in Depair, is it Depair? I don't remember. Somewhere in Wisconsin. Anyway, they at 10 inches, they're like, yeah, we're not going out unless we gotta, like, no groceries or something like that. I've been there when there's been a foot of snow on the ground, and I wasn't crazy about driving in that. Yeah, baseball practice starts in a couple of weeks, doesn't it? And then just 3-4 weeks after that, it's spring training games start. My dad and I used to go. We went to many, 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 many birthday trips for my dad. My dad's birthday was in March. And we would go. The Braves played at the Disney Sports Center. All their spring games were at Disney, and we would go catch a game. Saw a lot of teams play out there. A lot of great players. Greg Maddux. Saw just so many good players. Saw him play the Mets one year. Who else? I think every game we went to but one was a victory for the Braves. I'm not really a baseball fan, though. I was very much a fan of spending time with my father. So, and I know everybody and their brother has favorite baseball parks and that sort of thing. I just love being out there with my dad. Now, he actually took me when I was a kid, and let's be 100% clear. When I say kid, I mean baby. Dad would occasionally get tickets to go to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and I witnessed but do not remember seeing Hank Aaron play ball. And it's not even a formative memory. My first sports memory was watching football. And I remember asking my dad, because, I'm just seeing these big, huge guys in, big humanoid shapes with all. And I looked at him and I said, Dad, why are there robots playing? And he explained they were, they were guys in suits of protective padding. And for 45 years, well, 40 years, because I picked up on that when I was 5. For 40 years, I was a long-suffering Atlanta Falcons fan. And always been a Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Still am. I saw them get to the Super Bowl and they got romper stomped by Denver in 99 or 2000. And then No, it was 99. And then I saw them blow a 28-3 lead to the Patriots. And I just gave up on them at that point. Because they're never going to win a Super Bowl. Not while I'm alive, anyway. I honestly think that professional football will end. It'll just simply be, the NFL, we evolve to a higher state and no longer are interested in violent ground acquisition sports before there is a Super Bowl win by the Atlanta Falcons. They will go down as a history footnote as the NFL team that never won a Super Bowl. Now, despite me having a soft spot for the Braves, yeah, Ishahay, but at least the Bengals won a Super Bowl. What was it? 79 or 80? Or no, it wasn't that. But they did win a Super Bowl once upon a time. But when I was a kid, like, I got that from what is it? Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield's son, one of his friends, is played by Robert Downey Jr. And he talks about going to a pep rally for the school's football team. And he says, his friend's like, I didn't think you were into football. And he said, oh, we're not. It's an anti-pep rally. All violent ground acquisition games are a crypto-fascist metaphor for nuclear war. And he just spills it out so quick. It's such a funny little bit. But, yeah, the war's over. They got new parts for your head. But I watched, I loved, Space Guardians, any cartoons, Battle of the Planets, the Flintstones, and all that was broadcast on TBS in the afternoon after school. I'd get home from school, had a bunch of cartoons. Afternoon would wear on, you'd have Get Smart. And there'd be something I didn't give a shit about after that. But then you'd get Hogan's Heroes. But and it living in Gadsden, we got TBS out of Atlanta. And I remember coming home and it was Braves games. Because TBS had the contract to run Braves games. A little also ran studio. That's how long ago this was. A little also ran TV station in the late 1970s. Because at this point, TBS, Turner Broadcasting System, WTBS, is like 7 years old, 6 years old. So yeah, I came in one spring afternoon and they had the contract and here's a damn Braves game. I'm like, I don't care. I wanted to see the Flintstones, man. I wanted to see Battle of the Planets, Space Guardians. I want to see a damn baseball game. Hey, how have the Eagles held up, by the way? Did they win their division? Has it come down to like the last couple teams to play? The reason I ask is the Eagles quarterback is a gentleman by the name of Jalen Hurts. And he was our QB at Bama for many seasons. Almost won us a national championship. Got us to another national championship. Got traded out at the half. Tua Tagovailoa won another natty for us. And then he came. Then Jalen came in at the end of the Southeastern Conference championship game when Tua got his ankle broken. Jalen came in and won that game for Tua. It was too wild to believe. Jalen Hurts, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've said this before. I may not live to see it. Tua Tagovailoa's kids will play football at Alabama for Coach Jalen Hurts. That's what I believe. Jalen Hurts, I know he's good in the Eagles. Go watch his highlight reels from Alabama. Go watch what he accomplished on the ground. When he would run, when he would scramble and run. Hey, Bob Schultz, thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Buy something frivolous on you. Absolutely. Thank you, Bob. But if you go watch, if he didn't see a play develop the way he liked it, if he decided it was time to run. Hey, Bob Jester, thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Happy birthday, Bill. Sorry you're late, but could I start the stream over from the start? Sure. Thank you. That's wonderful, Daniel. I think CUSA and Sunbelt doesn't get nearly enough love. I think they don't get nearly enough love. I think those are underrated conferences for watching good, fun football. Just good, sandlot, fun football. Guys out there playing, they know they're not going to go into the NFL draft hardly. But just watching them out there playing their hearts out. Thank you, Spinning Toe Hold. Thank you. But when Jalen, he'd look. I don't like what I see. When he would start running, it was like watching a ball bearing on oiled glass. Just effortless. And it pisses me off because in 2016, Lane Kiffin, as much as I like him, tried to use Jalen exclusive. He tried to make Jalen into. He wanted him as a play action passer. And that's not what Jalen was good at. Tua was an amazing play action passer. Right? All of our quarterbacks prior to that were pretty good play action passers. Jalen wasn't. But oh my God, you open up a lane for Jalen Hurts to run. I mean, his end zone dance after a touchdown, he just went. Loved watching Jalen Hurts play. Thank you, Jorge. It was wonderful to have you here. Thank you for the super. I really appreciate that. I mean, now, you know who I like to watch throw the football? Not out of any, a guy who was fun to watch quarterback just because of how utterly improbable what he accomplished was Jake Coker. Never made it in the NFL. You guys who are NFL fans out there who are wondering who Jake Coker is and, you know, who's got him now, didn't make it. Didn't make it. I feel like he ended up on somebody's practice squad and then got cut. Jake Coker had this ridiculous circus act trick shot quarterbacking style. Look, I'm going to run around in the backfield for 8-10 seconds. I'm going to throw the ball, carry him off the defender's shoulder, bounce off the side of the official's head. It's going to be somewhere on the right hash between the 25 and the 20. Be there when it gets there. He would just snap that ball out there, just wing it out there. And you better be there when it comes down. Fortunately, at that time, Alabama had Ardarius Stewart and O.J. Howard to go out there and be under those trick shots when they got there. I'm losing people because I'm talking about college football, and I apologize for that. So there's something I want to talk about that is show related. Yeah, me too, Daniel. I actually used to have a live stream show with some other guys where we would do college football roundup, but we had to hang it up. Nobody watched it. I don't much, Michael. It's going to take him a while to grow on me, but I don't much. Charles Latora, thank you for hanging out with us. Grandkids to watch. That's really the best. So there's a dude who YouTubed past tense about D&D. I can't remember his name now. But before I launch into this anymore, I want to talk about, I want to, I will, Joe, thank you. I want to talk, I want to preface what I'm going to say before I start talking with this. I am going nowhere. I am not changing the show. I'm not dropping the show. I'm not pulling an FLGS disappearing act. What I mean by an FLGS disappearing act is this. You have an FLGS, favorite local gaming store. They're open 7 days a week. They open at 10 o'clock on Monday. They're open till 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. All the way through Friday, or all the way through Saturday. And then Sunday, they're like 11 to 5 or 11 to 7. Then one day the guy says, hey, you know what? I don't really do that much business on Sunday, so I'm cutting Sunday to 11 to 5. Or maybe just 11 to 2. And then he comes back and he says, hey, you know what? Just foot traffic isn't what it should be. So I'm closed Monday, but we're fine. But I'm going to stay open later so the guys that do their Warhams and their Battle Tech and their Magic and their D&D games, they can play longer. But I'm closed Monday. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and close Tuesday too. But Wednesday through Saturday and a little bit on Sunday. And then they drop the Sunday. And then they're only open for half a day on the Wednesday and then they're gone. All right. Hey, Don McVitie, thank you very much. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what I'm about to say is not, yeah, I'm going to stop streaming on these days because you're really low viewership, but these days I'm going to, I'm not beginning the FLGS decay. That's not what I'm talking about. Everything is going to stay as it is on this show. What I am going to talk about is a difficulty that confronts all of us who do D&D streaming. And that is this. YouTube no longer pushes tabletop RPG streaming. From the start of the pandemic till the beginning of this year, they don't. And unfortunately, I'm not doing it on purpose, but I'm sounding like that Mr. Software guy I was talking about last night. Ishahay should get a kick out of this. So the algorithm is no longer, the algorithm no longer works. The algorithm. All right, let me show you. Let me bring this up. And then I open up a page with like a million things on it and put it anyway. But it all kidding aside, it doesn't work. Hey, PML, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Hey, guys, I've got an affiliate link to PML down below. If you guys want to pick up some cool gaming stuff, check out his store. It's in the link below. Helps me out, helps him out, helps you out because you support a local gaming store. Algole, oh my gosh. I haven't seen you in a minute. How have you been, brother? Good to see you, man. This cat right here, let me tell you something. First of all, I'm going to put the Paint Minis live up real quick. I'll come right back to it. But this guy right here is literally one of the first guys to like, subscribe, and comment on a video of mine. This cat has been with, I don't mean since I started live streaming. I mean going back to 2014, folks. A veteran of the Psychic Wars, and it is good to see you again. But anyway, so basically YouTube is no longer promoting TTRPG channels unless you are already huge and sucking Wizards of the Coast cock. If I came on here and talked about, first of all, if I had 500,000 subs and all I did was come over here and pipe high pressure sunshine right into the buttocks of Hasbro Wizards of the Coast, and each one of my videos got 70, 90, 110, 120,000 views. I would be promoted by YouTube. That does not happen. That does not happen with small RPG channels. It just doesn't. And so I could do, yeah, hey. I could switch my focus to engagement farming. I could shift my focus to Culture Conf, which there's not going to be much of anymore. There's not going to be much of anymore. For reasons that I shouldn't have to say out loud, and I'm not going to rile up people's blood. But the reality is that I'm probably going back to a time of 4 or 5 subs a month, unless I just strike it just right. And that's a me problem. That's not a you guys problem. And I'm not whining and I'm not complaining. That's just what has happened. And that's true, Roy. That is absolutely true. And I may start streaming to Twitch. Not exclusively, if I can get away with it. But yeah, I may start doing stuff over on Twitch. I hate it. I hate them. Twitch is an awful, horrid mess for reasons I've talked about before on this show. When Twitch got their source code leaked, their website source code leaked a few years back. What I thought was funny is people were up in arms because part of the leak included how much big channels were getting, and people were like rending their clothes and pulling out their hair and throwing ashes on their head because they found out that Critical Role was making $9 million a year. So fucking what? I wish I was making $9 million a year on this channel. I'm not. I am happy for those kids. They absolutely deserve it. They have a product. They market it exceptionally well. I know you do, Viking Hat. I know you do. I've got to sort out the logistics on this end. And I love you for it, man. I really do. I absolutely took you seriously. I've got to figure out the logistics, you know. But right now, what YouTube wants... You have not missed anything on Guac, Michael Mertig. I have thought about Rumble. But that's just the reality. We've had a good ride since 2020 something to today, but they've officially shut the taps off. This guy, it's another online video service. This guy basically saw his metrics tank. They just fell right in the toilet. He was proximate to a Google office. And he went down. I cannot get a person to talk to me from Google. They just have no interest in talking to me. There are channels with millions of subscribers that get suspended and kicked off of YouTube. And those creators can't get to a person on YouTube. That literally a content bot will say, "We've reviewed your case and we're sorry, our decision is final." Until there's enough of a social media blow up that it comes back and they click the toggle switch up and down and the person's page is restored. But if that happened to me, I would be gone. I would disappear without a ripple. Just slip right below the surface. Just blip, blip, blip. and that would be it. But he went to the YouTube office and said, "What's going on with my channel? What is going on?" And was told by a person, "We're not going to promote you anymore. Tabletop stuff is kaput." Now, you might, and not incorrectly so, come back and say, "Hey, Runeword Gaming, thank you very much." You might come back and say, "Well, he's just trying to throw people off," and say, "No, there's no money to be had over here." He left. He quit. He put up a farewell video and said, "I'm done. I'm leaving my content up, but I've got to go do something else that's actually going to make me income, because it's clear my income stream is going to start drying up." I'm not leaving the internet, the video stuff on the internet, until or unless literally every single person that might watch and enjoy my content no longer does it. They just go away. I will stay here if one person watches my streams. Might dumb things down a little bit in terms of the studio, but I'm not going anywhere. But the reality is, when I see stuff like minus 10 subscriptions in a week, a video that as recently as a couple of months ago might have done a couple of thousand views in the space of a day, which for me is big numbers, now does 150 views. When I see stuff like that happening, the jig is basically up. I will continue to promote, celebrate, and enthusiastically recommend small D&D content creators here on YouTube. Jack Chronicler of the Northlands, Dungeon Minister, Doom's Words, Doomsword Deathmaster's channel, D and Disability, all those channels. I bear no animus whatsoever to anyone who's somehow finding a way to cling on. But I've got to take a look at this, and I've got to wonder about other avenues. Dual streaming to Twitch. But to come back to Twitch, the thing that disgusts me about Twitch, in addition to Twitch being disgusting, is one of the things that was found out in Twitch was their top streamers on Twitch of a certain gender and of a certain viewer amount and of a certain content type, it was hard-coded into the Twitch source code that if you clicked the report button on their content, it would not go through the other code that anyone else. That if I started a Twitch channel, it would go through mine. It would not go through that. It would contact their friends who work in Twitch management. It would just let them know that somebody was clicking the report button about them. It was hard-coded. That is disheartening. Knowing that I might have to go over there, but that the deck is already stacked against me. I have heard about people's streams getting cut and their Twitch account being suspended in seconds because they stepped out of copyright line. Exactly this. Exactly this. If streamer equal hot chicks or then go sub 200 print lol no. Exactly, Kyle. Good code, by the way. The only thing, Runeword, that's holding me off of Rumble is Rumble. Your, not your as in like your home IP address, but the IP address specific to your channel is front-faced. It's exposed to the public, and you can be knocked off the way. If somebody's just like, fuck this Bill Sylvie guy, specifically him, they can just DDoS you off of Rumble if you're trying to stream. Good night, 33K7. Take care. And it's just, you know, it's just finding out and figuring out what to do. I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm not stopping streaming on Twitter. I'm not going anywhere. But right now, these are some tough times for TTRPG content creators on YouTube. Maybe we didn't have a good product. I mean, it may be the case. One way I think we can succeed is doing a lot of collab work, rallying around each other. And so if you're out there and you've got a channel with 30, 40K subs, and you see a small channel like mine, like D and Disability, Paint Minis Live, Dungeon Minister, Yang Yan Zhao. If you see us out there and we're floundering a little bit, reach out. We could use it. We could probably use the exposure. Thank you, Chris. And Isha, hey, I appreciate that. I use Twitter to try and drive people to YouTube, which is a tough thing because this week Twitter might be completely cool with me sharing up a YouTube link. I've looked and I've seen links to streams that have gotten 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 view engagements, which for me is good on Twitter, by the way. And then I've seen other times when I'm like, hey, I'm having a guest. I'm having a contest. I'm doing an extra long live stream. I'm doing a giveaway. 200 views. So, and I literally think it's just their algorithm just kind of swerves, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, you know, there's nothing I can, and there's nothing a little guy like me can do. You know, I'm 55. I'm not 25. I don't have time or energy to rage against the machine. Isha Hayes, following me on Twitter, told me that I was streaming every night. After so many nights of seeing that, I checked it out. Well, thank you. And I love it when people watch me over on Twitter. I really appreciate it. Folks over on Twitter are awesome. And, you know, I have a lot of fun over on Twitter. But that is what it is. That is what it is. And I'm going to stop discussing that now. I'm just, you know, I just got to look at, you know, how I can engage better. So what else is happening? I am streaming tomorrow night. Of course, I will be streaming tomorrow night. I will be playing some Gamma World. I will be GMing Gamma World. I'm looking forward to that. Now, I had mentioned this before, the idea of doing miniatures with Gamma World. I will probably not initially jump into that for a couple of reasons. But I will likely start ramping up miniature use in Gamma World as I can get some terrain printed and so on and that sort of thing. I agree with you, Wave. Roy Goodman says, how recently was that the case? Rumble has made a lot of changes. Oh, in reference to the thing. The issue with Rumble popped up just a few weeks ago with the Speakeasy, the Nerd Cognito Speakeasy. Hey, Imperial Ramblings, thank you very much. I am wearing a Nova Scotia sweatshirt. This is a very handy, keeps me warm shirt. My in-laws got this on a trip up there a hojillion years ago, and I love it. It's comfortable. It's big, even on a guy like me. Hey, you're very welcome, 33K7. You are quite welcome. Imperial Ramblings, by the way, is a really awesome guy. You might see him around the Discord periodically. Imperial Ramblings is why I have a good, solid streaming PC. He's why I have this excellent Astarion microphone. Why I have the 48-volt soundboard that it's connected to, our mixer board. I was able to give Mrs. the Dungeon Delver her micro gaming PC for Christmas because of him. I have a PC that is actually going to replace this as a streaming PC because of him. And what else? Oh, yes, I have another mixer board. And recently, and I showed this to you guys the other night, he gave me a portable monitor. Just an absolutely fantastic dude. Yes, Runeword, you can just come to the Discord and join. Thank you, Viking Hat. I will put that up on the screen. Thank you very much. Kyle. Let's see. We do not do in-person Gamma World, Ishahay. My Gamma World players, the closest to me is about 40 miles away. Everyone else is scattered across the country. Mostly up in the Midwest, but some folks out west. Yeah, one day I'm going to be like, man, I've got too much computer crap. And if you're rambling is going to say, hey, man, you know, you can just send that back if you don't want it. He's been storing it in my house. That's what Volcano God did to me. That's why I have all these extraneous RPG books cramming my shelves. How do the minis come into play? So what I do, let me show you guys. If you haven't seen it, Ishahay. I have. Ooh, table cam's covered up. Okay. Man, I guess the table cam has gone blind. No, there it is. I have better lighting on game nights, by the way. Um, I have terrain out, and I will put character minis out. And my players can see that. I don't know if you guys could hear me when I was talking there. Dwarven Fortress. Dwarven Forge. Dwarven Forge. Yeah, I don't know if I have my mic added to those. Hang on a second. Yes, that one is added, and that one is added. Okay, cool. Couldn't remember if I had added audio sources to them. Excellent, excellent, Al. Thank you. Alrighty. So so um so yeah, I am looking to add a third camera that will be better. That will have like uh manual focus on it, like manual analog focus, not digital focus. It comes with a kind of a zoom lens I can mess with there and mount it over the table to look down. But definitely looking forward to that. But yes, Gamma World, I'll be doing much the same. I don't have that much sci-fi terrain, but I can make like I have plenty of outdoor terrain, and I also have plenty of. I mean, I can take a wonder cutter and foam board, paint the foam board up gray. You know, I can find ruin building STL files and print stuff. Yeah, stop by tomorrow night. We're 9 to 11. Doomsword Deathmaster. Um, who else is here? Kennek one. She plays in that game. Yang Yan Zhao and my buddy Kevin, Miss T Presence over on the Discord. Um, they are playing on Friday Night Game World. It's a lot of fun. A lot of character deaths in that game. A lot of character deaths. So got to find you an old school game. All your friends are 5e players. Offer to run a game and then run AD&D. I don't mean like trick them. Be like, yes, I'll run Curse of Strahd. Yes, bring your copy of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And yes, we can use that. Psych. OD&D. Temple of the Frog. No, don't do that. Yeah, no, hey, I'm in the same boat. I was talking to my Monday night group about playing, basically finishing this campaign with Q1 or whatever comes after D3. I may not use Q1. May just run my own homebrew thing. And I said after that, I might just let go. Dan might be your DM. referring to my buddy Dan McDougall, and yeah, Dan was like, "Oh, I don't know. We might switch to 1 or 2 games a month if I did that, man." Hey, thank you, Doc Flamingo. Another membership from Doc Flamingo. Thank you, thank you. Ishahay, brother, I feel you. I too run the games that I wish other people would run for me. I really do. I really, really do. I wish if I could clone me and have me run other games, that would be just that I could play in. That would be great. Gamma World's a lot of fun. Darth Brooks stops by. He loves Gamma World. He updoots the Gamma World videos. PML, thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Everybody subscribe to Pate Minis Live over on YouTube. He's got a great channel. See how easy that is? See how easy that is to lift somebody up. Let's see. Poor Don. I don't even get to run systems I like. Players are all like 1E or 5E. I let them vote, and Castles and Crusades or 5E wins or 1E wins nearly every time. It should be 1E every time. Just want to be a dwarf thief in a dungeon for once. I know, brother. I want to be a human paladin. I just want to vanquish evil, make a brave last stand with my friends. Hey, Kenan! Happy birthday to you, man. Happy birthday to me, rather. I'm sorry, I've been drinking. Kenan. Horror guy Kenan. But it's good to see you. Let me tell you about this cat. Kenan is awesome. Kenan is great. I haven't been down there. I haven't been to see you guys in so long. I love you to pieces. So I have talked. Let's talk about good stuff. Let's talk about happy stuff. My good friends Todd and Anna and Kenan and so many other nice people. Al, they all work down at well, I mean, Todd and Anna don't work there. They are the aforementioned Gods and Monsters. They're all down at Gods and Monsters Orlando. I adore that shop. Whenever anyone says, "Yeah, I'm coming to Orlando, Bill, and hang out with you," I'm like, "We are going to Gods and Monsters," because it is awesome. Vault 5421. Yes, this is a plug. This is a blatant plug. It's unpaid for. I don't care, because I love those guys. Wait, am I saying it right? Kenan or Keenan? Because there's someone I know who his last name is spelled exactly as yours is, but it's pronounced Kenan. But anyway, this cat, Keenan. Okay. Again, I've been drinking. And I haven't seen you in so long. I was looking at my Facebook memories today, and there were so many posts from so many other birthdays. Yeah, I'm going down to Gods and Monsters today before I come home and stream, guys. So I'll see you then. And I didn't do it this year. But I love these. I love these guys to death. And Keenan puts up with my bullshit alpha nerd stories. I'll roll in and be like, so there I was talking to Gary Gygax. And I mean, the audible click from this poor guy's eyes rolling in the back of his head, but he says nothing and smiles and nods. So it's really decent of him. And Don, I saw your message about the Paladin game. Yeah, reach out to me, man. I have to see what my schedule is like. With a new shirt, am I planning on becoming a PI? No, no. But I will dress like one. I will dress like one. Yes, that is from the Thomas Magnum collection. Haha, no whale of people who know what they're talking about, and I know that I'm shit. Yes, I do. Oh, I know my shit. Okay, right. Um, although I gotta tell you, Keenan, at this point, it's like, you know, finding a wood grain OD&D set in a used bookstore for $5, or stumbling on, you know, Journey into Mystery #1, or a 35 millimeter print of Star Wars that doesn't have Episode 4 on the leader. Um, I just don't think it's ever going to happen. I would love to have Todd and Nana on the show, just in case you happen to be in their ear anytime soon. So Keenan, I got to show you my shirt, and those of you guys who may have missed it, not this shirt, although this shirt is awesome. This is a Magnum PI t-shirt. Can I get it down without causing a disaster? No, I can't. So I'll have to stand up, if I can stand up. No, I'm fine. I've just got like a mild waking hangover now. I haven't drunk enough to be that unstable. Keenan, I'm talking to you, Keenan. Do you know what this is? I think you're a shade younger than me, so you might not. And don't say it's t-shirt, Bill, or I will bring it down there and wad it up and stuff it in your mouth. Why am I not wearing any pants? Oh God! No, I am wearing pants. But these are two shirts I got for my birthday today. And this is a Magnum PI, a reproduction. I didn't steal this out of Tom Selleck's house or anything. Yeah, this is a from the company that is authorized to make Magnum PI shirts, and I love it. I don't know. Okay, all right. So you know the Kids in the Hall, though, right, Keenan? Everybody else who didn't know what that is, you know the Kids in the Hall. Um, there's a skit on the Kids in the Hall that popped up 3 times, and there's like this really shitty teenage band in the skit, and you know 3 of the guys play it. Kevin McDonald is in it, but their band is called Rod Torfelson's Armada, featuring Herman Menderchuk. They're a trio. Okay, they are a trio. Kevin McDonald is treated like the 5th wheel in the band, even though there's only 3 of them. He's not named. It's Rod Torfelson's band. Herman Menderchuk is the bass player, and Kevin McDonald, the guitar player and singer, is given short shrift at every turn. And they had 3 skits. They had 3 skits that they did where the first one, basically, they browbeat Kevin McDonald's character into getting like a 2nd or 3rd job to support them so that they won't kick him out of the band. They won't vote to kick him out of the band. And in the second one, I think they're in a record store and they're bitching about their lack of success, and they're blaming it on the success of other bands, but they focus specifically on how much they hate the Black Crowes. And they're railing about the Black Crowes. This is the 90s, by the way. This is like early mid 90s. What they didn't know was that night, the Black Crowes were in the audience during the taping. And they were dying. They thought it was hilarious. So they did one more uh, um, Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk episode where they go to rock and roll heaven, and the angel that meets them explains to them that they're never going to get anywhere. They are awful. They are a terrible band. They don't succeed because they don't deserve to succeed. They should go do something else with their lives. And the angel's played by the lead singer of the Black Crowes. They got him on the show to do it. So yeah, it's a funny trio of sketches. If you go on YouTube, I can't, for obvious reasons, share it on the screen. Just look up Kids in the Hall, Rod Torfelson, and you'll find it. And they actually make those shirts. Now, the funny thing is, because I watched a little bit of Kids in the Hall, it recommended to me one of the Kids in the Hall has a YouTube channel where he talks about the sketches he's in, and he talks about that one. He's in it. And he said specifically, this was not a popular skit, I don't think. Nobody ever comes up to me and says, hey, I love the Rod Torfelson Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk skits. Like, I'll never see someone wearing a t-shirt of that. And I Googled Rod Torfelson Armada featuring Herman Menderchuk t-shirt. That is what they have printed on their drum head in the skits. Like that exact image. Somebody makes t-shirts of it. And so I bought it. I bought that damn t-shirt because I wanted to have it. So anyway, Ken, you're talking about they're building a studio and they want me to come on. Absolutely, absolutely. I am working on I am actually working on a mobile studio setup myself. I have a mini PC ready to go. I have a portable monitor. I'm eyeballing a new cam that I've just about got financed. It's as good as, like, I could use the DSLR, but it connects via USB 3. Like, it'll do 4K through USB 3, which is pretty slick. I do need to check out the new Kith seasons, because honestly, like 99.99% of their stuff always hit with me. Now, I've told this story before, but I want to again. There is a they had an honest to God, they put an 800 number on the screen where one of their writers is a guy named Paul Bellini. And they did this is weird ass skit where you could touch Bellini. And every time they would feature Paul Bellini in a skit, he would, and look, with all respect to Mr. Bellini, and I'm not either, I want to make this 100% clear, he's not a fit guy, all right? He and I have about the same physique, but I've got about 1.5 feet on him height-wise. And this was back in the 90s. And he was always just wearing a bath towel. But they had a call-in contest on the show, an 800 number, and you could call in to win a chance to touch Bellini. Paul Bellini would come to your town, go to your house, and you could touch Bellini. And the winner of the Touch Bellini contest was in the Tampa area, I think Clearwater. So they did this whole sketch where he goes to the airport in Toronto or wherever, just bath towel, slippers, and a suitcase, is on the airplane, takes a taxi to his hotel. And there's a scene of him sitting in a hotel room looking out of his window. And you can kind of see what's in the background and get a feel for the hotel. It's not a big hotel. It's not like a big giant, 25 stories right off downtown Tampa or even downtown Clearwater. And he goes to the lady's house, and she's got like a long handled cooking spoon, and she just kind of gives him a couple of gentle pokes with the cooking spoon. Years later, and I didn't put two and two together. I had remembered the skit. I had remembered that the winner was somewhere in Florida, and that was it. So years later, my wife went to a convention over in the Tampa area. We get a room to stay in the hotel. She wants to stay like overnight. No big deal. So we go, we do our thing. Fast forward to just a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm watching that skit again on YouTube with a winner who got to go, or who got to meet him. And damn it, if you wouldn't know it, it was in that hotel, and they filmed him in the room that we ended up staying in. The angle out the window, the view of the buildings across the street from it, unmistakable. Absolutely unmistakable. And what blew my mind even more was that, like, the building across the street, again, this is sort of a budget-ish motel, even though it's a hotel, even though it's technically a Hilton. I think all of us have stayed at enough Hiltons that were, to know that it was literally just some franchise guy paid $100,000 to get a bunch of Hilton signage, towels, and stamped soaps, right? I mean, it was nice enough. It was, it was for what it was doing, it was nice enough. It wasn't like a Motel 6. It wasn't a Howard Johnson's. And across the highway there from it, there's like a truck lot. There's like a warehouse type building, and then there's a lot of semi trucks. And it's still that, or it was still that day in, 2006, 2005-ish. So yeah, which, I mean, when you think that the Kids in the Hall, that episode I'm thinking of was on probably around 1992, 93. So we're only talking about 12 years distance. It's not like there would have been a huge change. It's not like we saw it then, and then I went out there today. Now it's like 23 years, 24 years, and twice that. But anyhow. Why pay for those? You can take them for free when you leave your room. Oh my gosh. But anyway, guys, that's going to about do it for me. I think I'm going to dip on out of here. Listen, I want to thank everybody who contributed tonight. Michael Dale, Wave of Mutilation, Jorge Uribe, Joe Kaufman, Rob Turner, Jeremy Rule, Bob Schultz, Bob Jester, Don McVitie, Paint Minis Live, Doc Flamingo, thank you for staying a member for so long. Thank you for dipping in. Horror Guy, Keenan, good to see you again. I'll get down there soon, man. The holidays have settled down. But we are about 15 minutes from it no longer being my birthday. So I've milked it for all I can, right? So I'll be back tomorrow night I'll have some swag. I will have gotten some swag tomorrow and some more on Saturday. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Al Goli. Like I said, he's literally like badge number 2 of the Dungeon Delver YouTube fan club. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for your well wishes. But yeah, we'll have kind of a fun mail call show off swag Monday. Listen, like I said when I was talking about algorithms and stuff, I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not closing down one night a week. I'm not changing my schedule. I will do this if one person is out there watching. If one person is out there watching, I will do this. So you guys take care of yourselves and be good to each other. And I'm going to see you next time. But until tomorrow night, I want you guys to be very careful because it's cold outside. Do not trip over a hibernating owl bear. Peace. Good night. Love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take